Hello guys, so this is your question 2 from 9706 paper 22. This is your February March 2025 paper, the most recent paper available at the moment. So this question 2 is regarding control accounts. This is a very basic and easy question. As we move on, you will see. So reading on with the question. So Mo runs a trading business and maintains control accounts as a part of the double entry. The following information is available for the month of November 2024. Now, in the first part, they're asking you to prepare the sales ledger control account, which is very simple. And the information that has been given to us is that we have been given the opening balance of sales ledger control account at 1st November. So this is the amount that will go on the debit side of your sales ledger control account. Now keep in mind they haven't mentioned a credit balance with this, so we'll say this means that this is a normal debit side balance for sales ledger control account. The next entry is contra entry with purchase ledger control account. Now we know that this will go on the credit side of your purchase ledger control account, so I'll just write CR over here. We have credit sales, so credit sales always go on the debit side. Well, let's just write that. We have discounts allowed, and anything that will be reducing the value of credit sales, that will be going on the credit side. I have explained this in earlier video as well. So when we have our sales ledger control account, anything that is reducing the value of credit sales will be going on the credit side. In simple words, what we're trying to say is that that amount will actually reduce the value of sales. So all the discounts that we're allowing, that is actually reducing the value of sales. Therefore, we will also record this at the credit side. Now there's interest charge on overdue account. So this is the interest that you charge for those customers who have unpaid accounts and they are overdue. So this is sort of income, and this will be increasing your credit sales value. So this should go on the debit side. We have irrecoverable debt written off. So bad debt, again, this reduces your sales ledger, your sales credit sales value, that will go on the credit side. And receive from credit customers. So this is the amount of money that you are receiving from your customers. Again, this will go on the credit side, because once these credit customers have paid, that means that's no longer a credit sales. And then same goes with the sales return. So sales return of 883, this will also go on the credit side. So this is pretty much simple. We can now simply put down these values in our sales ledger control account. I will try to see if we can adjust this in a manner that it is easier for you all to understand. So starting off with balance BD. So this is the value of 18320. Then I told you that the contra entry, so the contra entry will go on the debit side, on the credit side. So this is the value of 139. Then we had the credit sales, so the credit sales going on the debit side. So credit sales of 41735. Next we have our discounts allowed. So discounts are for 3071. Further, we had interest charge on overdue accounts. So this interest will be increasing the value of your sales, the amount that you need to receive. So this interest charge on overdue accounts is 84. We will simply add this on the debit side. So let's just, then we have irrecoverable debts. So our bad debts, I still use the term bad debts, and this is 478. The next thing we have is the receipts from credit customers. So credit customers have paid us the amount of 3. So these receipts always reduce the value of credit sales because they have paid you. So that is no longer part. And then we have our sales return. So again, sales returns are also reducing the value of your credit sales. So this is 883. Now simply putting down all these amounts, we can total this, and if we add them up, this side is obviously greater. So 18320 plus 41735 plus 84, this will give us a value of 60139. We write the same over here, 60139, and then we will take out our balance CD. So balance CD is of 16366. So whenever we write balance CD, we will write this down as a balance BD. So balance brought down 16366. Okay, so this is a pretty much simple sales ledger control account. Here is a complete view. Okay guys, so now moving on to our next part of this question. We have been given with additional information. So the question is saying on 31st December 2024, the following information was available. We have been given the total balances in the sales ledger and the sales ledger control account balance. Okay, so the following errors were discovered which accounted for the difference. Right, so they have given us these errors and they're asking us to calculate the correct figure for the total balance in the sales ledger, and in the next part they're asking us to calculate the total of the balances in the sales ledger control account. Okay, so let's just look at these errors one by one and see what can be done. So they have given us the total opening balance for both. The first entry, the first error is saying that the balance of a credit customer's ledger account had been overstated by 189. Okay, now this balance is affecting the ledger account. So this has been overstated by 189. So this will be directly affecting the total of the sales ledger, right? So this 189 will be affecting the sales ledger balance because this is an error which is there in the customer's individual account. Now moving on to the second one, the total of the sales return journal 210 had been posted to the debit side of the control account as 120. Alright, so now this error is of sales return where this sales return journal 210 had been posted to the debit side. So this should have been recorded as 210, but we have recorded as 120, and that also on the wrong side. So in order to rectify this, firstly this will be affecting the control account balance. So we can simply add these up. So this 210 plus 120, this will make up 330. Now this 330 will be reducing your control account balance because this is a sales return, so it will be reducing your credit sales value. So this 330 should be recorded in your sales ledger control account balance. Number 3, the discount column totals in the cash book had not been posted. So there's column on the debit side totaling 283 and there's column on the credit side totaling 319. Now again keep this in mind that these are the balances on both sides, the debit balance and the credit balance, but because we are currently referring only to sales ledger. So sales only deals with your discount allowed, and discount allowed is basically the debit side balance. So it is this 283 that we are concerned with, and this 283 will be affecting your sales ledger control account. So let me just make it more easier, and I'll just, so this is going in control account, this is affecting your control account, this 189 was only affecting your ledger balance. Moving on, number 4, no entries had been made in the books of account to record a dishonored check for 640. Okay, so there is this dishonored check for 640 where a customer paid us the check, but this check has been dishonored. So now this will be affecting both your control account and your ledger account. So we'll have to increase both, and this dishonored check should be added to both of these totals. Then an irrecoverable debt of 892 had been recorded correctly in the customer's ledger account but had been debited to the sales ledger control account as 298. Okay, now this is one of the errors that kind of troubled many students. Now this is clearly mentioning that this is an irrecoverable debt of 892 which is incorrectly recorded in the customer ledger account, and it has been debited to the sales ledger control account. So this has been wrongly recorded and then entered at the wrong side as well. So we need to, basically the sales ledger control account should be reduced. It will be affecting that value. So we need to first cut down this 298, because this 298 has been recorded on the debit side, so this should have been on the credit side. So we will reduce this 298, and we also need to reduce that by 892. So this irrecoverable debt should have been on the sales ledger control account credit side as 892, but because this was recorded as 298 on the debit side, so the total amount that we need to cut down for this value will be 1190, right? So this is the total amount that we should record on the credit side of sales ledger control account. So basically this will be affecting your sales ledger control account balance. Now let's just write down these values, and that will help us see if our totals are correct. So for the original total balance in sales ledger, for sales ledger effect, we had our entry 1 and we had our entry 4. So the sales ledger balance was being, first this was being reduced because this was the customer overstated by 189. So we will less customer overstate, this value is 189, this will be reduced, and then we were adding 640 which was the dishonored check. So this 640 over here, your entry number 4, so we add dishonored check, this is 640, right? So there was no other entry affecting this. Let's just total. So this will add up to 22801. Okay guys, so now in the next part we have to make the sales ledger control account balance updated. Now keep this in mind that this is a question where you can check whether you have done it correctly or not, because these both balances should be the same. So once we do all this working, this should be same as 22801. So it's a good thing if you just write this over here. That will be easier for us to check when we put down all these values. Now just going back to the values that were affecting the control account balance. So this was your number 2. This was the amount of 330, and these were the sales return. So sales returns were wrongly recorded on the debit side. So putting them on the credit side, it will reduce the sales uh, ledger control account value. So sales return, let me just write this down. So sales return, this was of 330. I have already explained why we're recording 330. So we have added those two amounts, and this 330 is being reduced. Then we had the next value, which was for the discount allowed. So remember, we are just taking the debit side value, which is your discount allowed of 283. Again, the discount allowed also reduces the value for the credit sales. So discounts, and this 283 will also be reduced. And then we had dishonored check, right, which wasn't recorded at all. So when we put that dishonored check over here, so that dishonored check is now, because it has been dishonored check, so this is again part of your credit sales. So this will increase by 640, right? So we add the dishonored check by 640. And lastly was the value for the bad debts, where I explained that 298 plus 892 gives us a total value of 1190, and this 1190 will be deducted because this is the value for bad debts which should have been recorded. So value for bad debts, and this bad debts value is 1190. Again, this is being less. So now let's just quickly work this out. So 23964 minus 330 minus 283 plus 640 minus 1190. Yes, we are getting 22801. So this confirms that we have done this correctly. So this was your part B of this question. You can have a look again, and this 22801, we have same balances. These balances are matching. Now they are just asking you for two benefits of preparing control accounts. These are, they prevent fraud, they can help you in identifying any errors, correction. So that's just a simple copy paste thing. You guys can learn that from your notes. So I hope this helped. Please keep watching the videos, and happy preparing for your exams. Thank you.